Former Mesa County Elections Manager Sandra Brown turned herself in to authorities in July for charges tied to a security breach of voting equipment.
Brown pleaded guilty after striking a deal with prosecutors to testify against her boss, Tina Peters, and today she learned her fate.
Sandra Brown, the former elections manager, fired in 2021 and the third person tied to the security breach of voting equipment at Mesa County Elections, heard her sentence in court Wednesday afternoon. Brown sat stoic in the empty courtroom, joined only by her husband and mother, as the judge sentenced her to 30 days in jail and a $2,000 fine for felony count 1 of attempting to influence a public servant. Brown already served 2 days of that sentence, which she turned herself in on her birthday in July 2022. Brown will serve 2 years probation after jail time and 100 hours of community service, which is a slap on the wrist in exchange for testifying against her former boss and former county clerk, Tina Peters, in October. If Brown does not testify, District Attorney Dan Rubenstein says she will face the full brunt of the original charges, including criminal impersonation, landing her more than a decade behind bars. Judge Barrett told Brown if she had not made a plea deal with prosecutors, he would have had zero hesitation in giving Brown an even longer stay behind bars for the cost of destroying trust in our election system, in the community, and across the country. Peters and her deputy clerk Belinda Nisley were indicted by a grand jury for election tampering, including taking forensic images of Mesa County's Dominion voting systems, alleging fraud in the 2020 November general election and the 2021 municipal election. The arrest affidavit shows Brown was helping Peters and Nisley shut off security cameras in restricted areas and featured video clips of her photographing the cameras and election hardware. Rubenstein said Brown was directly responsible for election security, but she chose herself and her job over her oath and the community. The unemployed Sandra Brown addressed the court, saying the whole election tampering incident ruined her life. She says she was operating under leadership of former clerk Peters under fear. Brown told her attorney the 48 hours she spent in jail was the longest of her life. Now, Brown must turn herself in by Friday at noon to start serving the remaining 28 days of her jail sentence.
Mesa County District Attorney Dan Rubenstein investigated Peters' report of criminal fraud in the Dominion systems and found human error to be the cause. The trial for the People versus Tina Peters kicks off in October.
Now, in other news, Andrea Heights has talked